Hi, this is Carly here. Hope you are all well, witches. Just wanted to jump on really quickly and explain today's episode. So this is a collaboration with my very good friend, Nat, from the wonderful podcast, Dharma Not Drama. If you haven't listened to it already, do go over and give her a listen. It's a wonderful show. So we are talking today all about the archetype of the High Priestess. We get into some information on Persephone. We start to talk about lore, fairy tales, mythology, and we also discuss how many stories were almost lost as a result of like the patriarchy, religion. We're also going to reveal information on how you can get involved in our new offering, the High Priestess Temple. We're offering a free transformational journey that you can join us on in January 2021. So there's some information on the episode on how you can get involved with that. So if you're listening to this on when it's released, Monday, 21st of December, firstly, happy Yule, winter solstice. Now, 5:45 p.m. on the 21st of December, over on Instagram, on my account at The White Witch Company, we are hosting a live all about the dawning of the age of Aquarius, the winter solstice, and we have a meditation on there too. So hopefully we'll get to see you over on there. But without further ado, here is our episode all about the High Priestess archetype and lore and stories. Carly, and I'm here with Nat.
Hi.
Hi. So we're here to talk to you today all about the High Priestess Temple, and to give you the opportunity at the end of this broadcast to join us for our free challenge that commences in January 2021. But right now we wanted to talk to you all about the archetype of the High Priestess, and also how we can use stories for deep healing and transformation.
Thanks, Carly. Yeah, as Carly said, I'm Nat, and I'm going to kick this off by just explaining a little bit about the High Priestess Temple and what it actually is. Journey into sacred spirituality, deep inner healing, bold self-empowerment, and the reclamation of your wild woman ancestry. The High Priestess Temple is a sacred space where you are guided to explore the healing power of the stories and legends of the past, reclaim your wild nature, and embrace all parts of yourself for soul-level healing and spiritual transformation. When you join the High Priestess Temple, you will heal and transform yourself through a progressive pathway of ancient myth and story, experiential workshops, and guided inner healings. Each unique and carefully designed journey will teach you what it means to reconnect with your ancestral lineage and the wild woman within, so that you can find the treasure buried in the depths of your shadow self. This alchemical process transmutes past pain and core wounding into wisdom and fuels your personal empowerment and spiritual evolution. You will heal, grow, transcend, and discover your soul truth within a sisterhood of awakening women just like you.
So, stories are medicine. They are the simplest, most accessible form of healing. They have power. They do not require that we do, be, or act anything. We need only listen. The remedies for repair or reclamation of any lost psychic drive are contained in stories. They are embedded with instructions which guide us through the complexities of life. And that's from Women Who Run with the Wolves, written by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. So stories, myths and fairy tales have long been used to pass lessons down through lineages. They provide insight that helps sharpen our sight. Stories are medicine and they have power. All we need to do is listen to them. And through this, they can provide remedies for repair or reclamation and act as guides to the complexities of life. So it's said that the Brothers Grimm and many other fairy tale collectors within the past few centuries purified many of our old stories due to changes in leading religions. The bones of many of our stories were also disarrayed through various cultural overlays. Many pagan symbols within stories were stripped out and replaced by Christian ones. So an example is where an old healer in a story would become the evil old witch. A spirit became an angel, an initiation veil became a handkerchief, or a child named Beautiful, which was apparently the custom name for a child born within a solstice festival, would be renamed to a name that meant sorrowful. So all sexual references were removed from stories. They even made helpful animals or creatures into demons. These stories were in essence created to teach women about the passageways of life. So sex, love, money, marriage, birth, death, and transformation. Through this, they became lost or changed beyond recognition. Fairy tales and myths that explored the ancient mysteries of womanhood were hidden, they were covered up. And many of our fairy tales and myths that still exist today have been cleansed of the sexual, the perverse, and therefore the warnings that were within them. So all reference to the feminine, the goddesses, the medicines for psychological malaise and spiritual guidance was stripped out completely. But unfortunately, some of the original stories remain. Some are alive but remain fragmented. Clarissa Pinkola Estes refers to her work as fairy tale forensics. And Nat and I consider ourselves as folklorists, delivering and rekindling tales of old and delivering nourishing soul medicine through their retelling, building on this into our workshops, meditations, journal points, shadow work, and other accessible sacred teachings. So using ancient myth and story as a basis for our teachings, but also to assist you to reconnect with your ancestral lineage and reclamation of the wild woman that resides within. We promise stories that demonstrate women are powerful and strong and, in essence, open up a space for us to live up to them. Women throughout Celtic stories and myths demonstrate a deep connection to the natural world. They played an integral part in the Earth's well-being and its inhabitants' survival. So Celtic stories demonstrate how women were the inspirational leaders of their tribes and that the land was shaped by them. We are here to reclaim those stories and through their retelling, remind you on a soul level that we are those women. Once our old stories have been told, we can then find and claim our new stories that will inspire us to move forward.
Brilliant. Thank you, Carly. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the significance and symbolism of the High Priestess archetype. And this reflects why we actually chose this as our name and as the kind of essence of what this experience is all about. Now, when I was getting ready for this session last night, and I did a bit of a meditation, and I asked my guys to help me to channel the High Priestess, and I was given a poem. So I'm going to start by reading the poem to you, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about the High Priestess archetype. Okay, so here we go. The poem is called High Priestess. I am the mother, and I am the sage. I am the vessel, the transformative cave. I am the shadows, the trick of the light. I am the illusion of sunbeams at night. I am the wise woman, the healer, the seer. I am the warrior who makes fear disappear. I am the shaman, the knower, the guide. I am intuition, deep down inside. I am the channel of female divinity. I am powerful, feminine humanity. I am of the highest wisdom and truth. I am timeless, both elder and youth. I am the guardian of hidden secrets and dreams. I am the wild woman, bathed in moonbeams. I am knowledge. I am divination. I am the oracle of spiritual salvation. I am pure, unconditional love. I am enlightenment, as below, so above. The definition of a priestess is essentially a female spiritual leader, a woman who leads prayer, worship, ritual, and ceremonial rites. But historically, the role of the priestess was varied and diverse, and she has been known by many names in different cultures, including shaman, healer, medicine woman, diviner, spirit medium, hedge witch, seer, oracle, and wise woman. The rise of the patriarchy. Now, just a side note, just to get this clear, when I talk about the patriarchy, I'm not blaming men in general for the world's or women's problems. I'm talking about the historical religious oppression and suppression of female power and leadership that informs culture to this day and negatively impacts both men and women alike. Both men and women recognize this gross imbalance, the conditioning around masculinity and the reasons behind it. And now we need to rebalance by empowering the feminine in order to achieve the balance between masculine and feminine that we need for healing and ascension, because the very nature of enlightenment is unification and wholeness, which cannot be achieved if there is imbalance. So just to get that out of the way. During the rise of patriarchal governance, in order to undermine and control female power, women were banned outright from ritual leadership and religious authority, or demonized through stories of black witchcraft. And over centuries, the religious scriptures have been edited, much like the stories that Carly was talking about earlier. They've been edited to erase the old traditions of female spiritual leadership. Now, despite this, history is rich with stories about women defying patriarchal limits and hierarchies. In Europe, the church banned female spiritual leadership, but it persisted for centuries in witchcraft and folk religion. People would consult female healers, shamans, and seers, despite the horrific witch persecutions that were happening at the time. Now, despite all this oppression and repression, female spiritual leaders and visionaries have overcome all obstacles to lead, teach, counsel, and inspire. Just a little bit about how that sort of blends with colonization. So the colonization and repression of indigenous female leaders. In many indigenous cultures, spiritual leaders are actually female. Now, male colonizers stigmatized cultures that honored female spiritual leadership, calling them barbaric and inferior. A Han Mandarin bragged that he had destroyed thousands of shrines of the Wu, which is the female shamans in southern China. In the 16th century, Spanish colonizers were stunned to see that old women led most of the ceremonies in the Philippines. These old women are actually the Babaylan, the female shamans of the islands. Missionary priests call these female shamans diabolical witches, and for centuries fought to stamp them out. They did end up Catholicizing the islands, but the Babaylan are still around. Now, these are just two examples of suppression of Indigenous female-led cultures. There are many, many more. But despite this, many cultures, including our own, are reclaiming the right of women to lead ritual and ceremony as equal to their male counterparts. They are campaigning for the same initiations and ordinations as men in their religious traditions. Now, we believe that women reclaiming their spiritual power and reigniting the old ways and traditions of leadership is significant in the collective consciousness and personal power of all women, and that the High Priestess is a personification and symbol of the immense spiritual power that women had and can have today. We are the key holders of our own spirituality, and each of us has the power and potential to facilitate our own spiritual healing and advancement. By embodying this High Priestess and Wild Woman archetype, the Wild Woman within, the High Priestess within, we can reclaim control of our own soul journey and lead ourselves to reunification and spiritual evolution. So that's a little bit about the history behind the High Priestess and female spiritual leadership. And now I'm just going to talk a little bit about the tarot card, the symbolism of the High Priestess tarot card, because obviously when you hear the word High Priestess, that's usually the first thing that comes into mind. So here's a little bit about that. The High Priestess is one of the major arcana tarot cards. The High Priestess card represents the archetype of the divine feminine, with her shadow and light in equal balance. So there's that idea of balance again. She symbolizes the unconscious mind, deep inner knowing, feminine intuition, and spiritual connection. She also personifies Mother Earth and her seasons, as well as the hidden realms of our undeveloped potential and the shadow facets of the self. The High Priestess archetype is really beautifully represented by Persephone, Queen of the Underworld, and guardian of the secrets of the deceased. I'll tell you quickly the story of Persephone and explain why she represents the High Priestess archetype so perfectly. Persephone was abducted by Hades, Lord of the Underworld, while she was picking flowers with her friends. Hades wanted Persephone for his wife and imprisoned her in the shadowy realm of the dead to rule as his queen. Her mother, Demeter, Earth Mother and goddess of fertility and harvest, was so overcome with the grief and at her loss of her precious daughter that she went on strike and the world fell into perpetual winter. When the crops failed to grow and famine ravaged the earth, Persephone's father Zeus, king of the gods, intervened and ruled that Persephone would spend half the year with her husband in the underworld and the other half on Mount Olympus with her mother. Demeter had no choice but to accept this compromise, yet she could not help but fall into a depression while Persephone was away, thus causing the seasons that we know as autumn and winter. When her daughter returned in the spring, Demeter was so overjoyed that she beamed her light over the world, and the seasons of spring and summer returned. Persephone embodies the journey each of us must take if we are to access the depths of the untapped psyche, which holds the secrets to accessing our higher gifts and talents and integrating all aspects of ourselves so that we can unify and ascend. High Priestess serves as our guide to those inner shadow realms, where the seeds of our destiny and growth gestate in the darkness, fertilized by the rich soil of our subconscious, until the time is ripe for manifestation and harvest of the fruits of our practice. This is why she is perfect to represent our vision of creating a global community of spiritually empowered women who know that by reclaiming their wild woman ancestry and healing and transforming their inner world, they can use their strengths, gifts, and talents to transform the outer world, transcend their suffering, and spiritually evolve. Back to you, Carly.
Thank you, Nat. So I was just going to talk to you about what members can expect inside the membership. We've been doing a lot of work on this. So we will have in there structure and content of journeys. So ancient story, inner healing meditation, experiential workshops, shadow work guided journaling sessions, chakra clearing, medicine woman guide, rituals, home retreat guidance, frequency activation meditations. We will have a live monthly full moon group healing session, new moon manifestation circles, guest experts in the fields of mental health, spirituality, witchcraft, rituals, teaching masterclasses and workshops to us all. So we have downloadable workbooks and printable resources that you can access. And overall, a community of awakening soul sisters on the same journey of healing and spiritual development. We have a meditation portal, a spiritual toolbox of techniques to use as and when you need, and support and guidance from 2 spiritual coaches and authors. That's, of course, me and Nat. Back over to you, Nat.
Thank you very much, Carly. So now you know a little bit more about what goes on, what you can expect. Let's talk a little bit about who this might be for. So again, we've done quite a lot of work on this, and we have sort of cultivated this idea of what women may be struggling with at the moment. So overall, this offering is for women who want to go deeper into their inner healing, their self-empowerment, and their spiritual evolution. Women who are interested in alternative spirituality and who know that in order to move forward on their personal and spiritual path with their soul purpose, they need to face the shadows in order to emerge into the light. So they identify with the following pain points and struggles. This is what we've been refining. See if any of this resonates with you. They might say certain things such as, I feel stuck in repeating patterns of thoughts and behaviours. No matter how much spiritual work I do, I don't seem to progress. I feel that there's something missing from my life. I know I'm here to fulfill a purpose, but I'm having trouble figuring it out by myself. I feel disconnected from nature and my own rhythms. I feel exhausted and drained all the time. I experience mental and emotional pain that also manifests as physical pain. I feel vulnerable and scared sometimes. I feel disempowered. I don't value myself or have the confidence in my abilities and contribution. I don't take time to practice self-care or work on my relationship with myself. I'm not aware of all my triggers, traumas, and mental health symptoms. I don't trust my intuition or recognize signs from the universe. I don't prioritize my spiritual practice enough. And I want to learn how to connect with my ancestral heritage. So if you resonate with any of those, this offering might be really helpful for you. And Carly's just going to tell us a little bit about what you can expect to achieve if you decide to come and join us in the temple.
So we believe that you will feel grounded, connected to the land where you live, your ancestral history, your lineage, Also be able to use your triggers and your former trauma to actually heal and grow. We believe you'll feel empowered to take control of your spiritual and personal development and learn techniques and tools that will help you evolve and hold more light so that you can embody your truth and your soul purpose and live the actual life that you came here to live by learning these soul lessons, doing this divine work, and being of service to the world. We believe that you'll develop a strong and effective spiritual practice through our group. You'll learn how to prioritise yourself and also understand what is important to you. And also practice exquisite self-care and love. We feel that it will give you a good sense of self-awareness and help you to be strongly connected to your intuition, your higher self, your spiritual team, and the universe. So we hope that you will identify once you're with us with the following statements. I've broken my repetitive patterns and feel freer and lighter. I feel like I'm making progress in my spiritual evolution. I've discovered that the missing piece of the puzzle is spirituality. I've connected with my purpose, or I'm at least on the road to figuring it out. I feel a strong connection to nature's internal and external cycles. I have more energy and vitality. I have healed a lot of my mental and emotional pain through deep reflection and shadow work, and now I feel less physical pain. I feel safe, strong, and protected, and my dominant emotions are gratitude and love, as I stand in the light of divine energy. I know my worth and the value I bring to the world, and I feel empowered to do so. I prioritise practicing exquisite self-care and nurturing my relationship with myself. I have a strong sense of self-awareness. I have discovered a lot of my triggers, the traumas they relate to, and I feel more stable in my mental and emotional health. I'm connected to my intuition and higher guidance, and I feel confident in trusting this divine advice. My spiritual practice is one of my top priorities because I know that when I commit to it, everything else falls into place and life flows much more smoothly. I feel empowered to create my own ideal blend of spiritual practices and rituals based on my current needs. I feel a deep connection to my ancestors, the old ways, and the stories that hold so much healing power. I feel honoured to pass this wisdom on to the next generation. Back over to you, Nat.
Thank you. So hopefully you can see the value of joining us. We officially launched this transformative and unique membership space in the spring of next year. We're hoping for February, mid-February, on the new moon. But we are offering you an opportunity to test drive the experience and try out the core elements of the first healing journey absolutely free. This free journey launches on Monday, the 11th of January, 2021. The journey will consist of 3 key elements that make up our full-length journeys: the story, the inner healing meditation, and the experiential workshop. This will give you a powerful taste of the transformative power of our full-length journeys should you decide to join the High Priestess Temple when we launch. This alchemical journey takes you into a cave, a metaphorical vessel of transformation, shrouded in shadow, yet abundant with hidden treasure waiting to be unearthed by your exploration in the dark. The cave is symbolic of the shadow self, the inner depths of your subconscious, the divine womb space, the deep, dark place where seeds can be planted to germinate and grow into the light. It is the holy grail of transformation and a magical place where you can reconnect with your soul's mission and the essence of your true nature.
The shadow is of equal importance to the light, and to fully embody and hold more light, we must go deep into ourselves to discover what we need to learn, grow, and let go. In doing so, we reclaim all parts of ourselves, including those lost and rejected parts of the shadow self. This reclamation of the soul is essential for integrative healing, mental and emotional well-being, self-mastery, and spiritual empowerment. So this work is deeply resonant with January's energy of self-reflection and moving from one chapter into the next. To effectively move on, we need to honour the past cycle and process the lessons and wisdom we have gained from them. Therefore, we will launch this free healing journey into the cave on 11th of January 2021. So you can register by clicking the link in the notes that accompany this broadcast to join this powerful and transformative experience. And if you have any questions, we'll be delighted to help you. You can email us at support@highpriestesstemple.com or send us a DM on Instagram, which is @the High Priestess Temple.
So thanks very much for joining us, and we hope to be connecting with you very, very soon.
Thank you. Thanks ever so much. Hope to see you in the membership.